So at the beginning of every year, I make this great big list of all the dream routes that I want to get done. And this year I've done the same, and there's Hump of Trouble on there. Got Wombat Roof. Got my big link up project down in Nowra. Got all the big double digit boulder problems.
Come on! Come on! Ale! You got this. Come on. Come on.
The problem with a list like this though is that I need all the stars to align to even just get one of them done. I need to be in tip-top condition both physically and mentally. I need the conditions to be awesome. Everything needs to be lined up perfectly, and the reality is that you don't get many days where that happens. You get to the end of the year and maybe you've not achieved any of them, and I get pretty unmotivated by that. So I was telling Amanda about this the other day and she said, well, why don't you make some second tier projects? And I'd just forgotten all about them. They are the most powerful projects that you can have in your year. Yes. So I went off, I grabbed the guidebooks for the Grampians, Nowra, Blue Mountains, and a few of the other local areas, started writing them all down. It was awesome. So I've got my list here and I'll show you that later. But first, what is a second tier project? Basically, in my mind, it's something that you can get done pretty quickly with the state that you're currently in. So whether that's just in a couple of days or even just a few tries, you can make it happen. You don't need the conditions to be amazing. You don't need your skin to be awesome. You can just get out there, get it done, and feel like you're achieving something. I don't like these projects to be something where I've got like I want to on-site it or I want to get it done in a day. That's for my bigger list of goals. This is just like, I want to go out and have fun and feel like I'm making steps forward. So that leads us pretty nicely into what the purpose of these projects are. And for me, it's about connecting with the fun of climbing again, and to go off and be kind of engaged as I climb and needing to try, but not having it be this overwhelming experience where you're in like full red point state, because it gets pretty fatiguing after a while. I also really like it because it forces me to go out and try different climbs that I've not tried before, or go to different areas and seek something new, because I do get pretty fixed into just going and projecting and doing my thing, and I end up going to the same 3 cliffs for the entire season. And it's motivating, but it's also really important to diversify your skills and experiences and route repertoire. I've had it in the past where I've been on my big project, I've gotten through the final hard crux and it's just easy stuff to go, and my heart rate just goes through the roof, and suddenly I'm there thinking, oh gosh, I haven't red pointed anything proper in like 6 or 12 months. What do? I hope I don't choke. And I've fallen off because I'm just too nervous because I don't know what I'm doing. And having these projects there means that you're like, yeah, cool. I've red pointed recently. I know what it feels like to be here, to be in the last few meters, to hold it together and to make it happen. So it just keeps that ticking along in the background. I really think these goals are absolute gold for your climbing. So if you're finding it awesome, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button. It means that YouTube goes, wow, this is an awesome video. It will spread it to more people. And I think the more people that get to have these second tier projects at the forefront of their mind, the more we get to have an awesome time climbing, and we can all get out there and just kick ass. With trying out new stuff as well, I like to maybe try a different pair of shoes that I'm not as familiar with. Maybe I want to have a practice with pacing on a route and just like swimming through the really easy climbing, and being comfortable with not grabbing a hold particularly well or placing a foot very well, and being like, cool, that's okay, because I'm actually gaining something in climbing quicker and getting to the next rest less pumped because I haven't been hanging on for as long. You can also play around with different grip positions. So I'm someone that really loves to crimp up, and I've used these sorts of projects in the past to practice my open hand grip and gain some confidence in not needing to ball everything knuckles up. So this is my list. It goes from 34 down to 31 on the route side of things, V13 down to V11 for the boulders. And there's things here like Sneaky Old Fox at Diamond Falls and Sneaky Snake on Taipan Wall, if we're allowed to maybe climb there again. Who knows about that. Teflon down in Bungonia. Cardigan Street, that's another Taipan Wall one. And then I've got some boulders here like Amagama and Lost for Life. Rachel Hunter, the Manhattan Line. Just things that I can go down and just be like, yeah, sweet, I'm feeling progress, I'm moving forward. You can just get to that point when you're on hard red points of just banging your head against the wall, and there'll be days where you just go backwards and backwards and backwards. It's hard to stay motivated and positive through that. And having these projects is just a linear progression. It's just fun, and I really enjoy it. Also on here, I've got my outliers list, and that's got stuff like some obscure rapping climb out routes from around the mountains, a couple of different multi-pitches, and some different crags that I just haven't been to. And I'd never have thought of going to until I looked through the guidebook and you're like, oh, yeah, I'd forgotten about that, and there's some awesome routes there. So if you're anything like me and your project list for this year is some big enormous dream list projects, I challenge you to go grab a couple of guidebooks and write down some second tier projects. Chuck the list up somewhere where you're going to be able to see it all the time and tick them off. I promise you, it's so motivating and it's got me so psyched to get out and just go climbing. Thank you so much for watching, I really appreciate it. Let me know how you go with your second tier project list. Stick it up there on the wall, tick them through, and have an awesome time climbing.